I'm Martin and welcome to another great edition of Astronomy for Beginners. So, did you have a great Christmas? For me, I had a bit of a quiet one. Christmas has been okay, it's been quiet. However, weather's not been great. We've had a lot of cloudy skies, not been able to do much imaging, do any observation on my telescopes. Now, it can be frustrating at first, I get that. Okay, guys and girls, if you've just got your new telescope this Christmas and you want to test it out, please, you're not going to guarantee that it's going to be a clear sky. Okay, sometimes things like this are frustrating, but you have to give it time. Okay, there will be clear moments, clear spells where you can get to test out your telescope, and believe me, it is worth the wait. Okay, so please, if it's cloudy, whatever means, please just wait out till it's clear and get to use it. Okay. The other drama when beginners first get the telescopes, they like to use the telescope and look outside the window. Unfortunately, that is not the best solution to get the best possible views at your telescope. Telescopes are meant to be set up outside. So please, a lot of beginners just got the new telescope. First thing they test it out is look through a window. What's that going to do is you've got the heat currents, the heat waves coming out of your warm room into the air, and you just get ruined images. All right, where the image would be very ripply, very warped, and very unclear. So please do not make that mistake when you use your first telescope and you look through the window. You're not going to get the best views at all. So please, for you guys who just got a new telescope, set it up outside, and believe me, you appreciate the views a lot better. Unfortunately, it will get cold because it is winter, so please wrap up warm, alright, before you start using your telescope. So please enjoy the night sky using your new telescope. However, I had one or two viewers, alright, and asked me some information. Is it possible to, well, as use a Starmap, but use a mobile phone or smartphone? Can it be used with a telescope? I had a serious thought on this, and to be honest with you, this is sort of escaped me quite some time, and I've never actually really considered this. Now, this is not new technology, this is not something that I've devised, alright, this has been going over the years. So I had a look around, and there are some reliable sources out on YouTube. There are one or two videos that show this, but there's not much on there. Alright, and again, fitting a device, a mobile phone, and using some kind of online active Starmap. And to be fair, it is actually a very good idea. Now, as I mentioned in my last video, is with the trash telescopes and buying a good telescope for Christmas, I did mention before that we should not be looking down on the mobile phones when we should be looking up. And I had a good serious thought on this, and I thought, well, actually, why don't we use a smartphone to use the telescope to get beginners to start looking up? And I have found quite a few apps in there, and I'm actually quite impressed to see these online maps. Now, these star maps will help beginners, help them navigate the night sky and get them to spot things and find objects in the night sky. And I've been testing around, and I've been playing around a few apps, and I'm actually quite impressed. Okay, so again, I think it's a brilliant idea how you can use a telescope, and in theory what this live smartphone will do will enable you to push the telescope in position so you can go around in the night sky, and if you see something that you like, alright, that's on the app, as long as it's in your eyepiece, right, you get to view it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try this method out, and I'm going to take you through the stages and see what you think. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on from here. So what I'm going to show you is a few apps that I use my mobile phone to use a online star map. Now there are a variety of star apps out for Android, out for the iOS. Now there's so many of these star map apps you can choose from, and they can either cost you something that's free, or they can cost you a lot of money. Now some of these apps, depending on what you buy or what you upload, really depends on the functionality. Unfortunately I can't cover every single app, but there are one or two apps that I do use, and I feel like these are more suitable for astronomy. Now they don't need to be glorified apps, right? You don't need apps that will play your tunes with nice fancy pictures. You just want really basic apps that are free, very effective, and most of all, what you're trying to use these apps for is to find your objects in the night sky. Now if you want a general point and push telescope with sort of go-to capabilities, so you can push the telescope and center the target in the field of view of your telescope, that's exactly what you need. And I think it's a great way to use these basic apps. They cost you nothing, and there are a variety of apps, but you don't need fancy glorious pictures, you don't need fancy music. You just want an app that will take you through the night sky, very simple format, and show you a few night sky objects or planets or the moon or anything you want to view in the night sky. And that's basically what you want. You don't need anything too fancy. Now there are very good apps out. There are Star Portal, there are Star Walk, and there is Sky Safari. Right, you can fit this on your basic telescope mount, and you can push your telescope in the night sky, and hopefully you should be in range in the field of view of the telescope. And that's the whole idea. There are two apps that I do use, and they cost nothing. One is SkyEye and the other is Skymap. Now these apps work very effective with your GPS switched on or your Wi-Fi switched on. Okay, your phone must have that switched on to enable you to go through these apps. Okay, and it's very simple. You're just going to make sure that you switch on your Wi-Fi, you switch on anything that's that will work. Okay, so your Wi-Fi must be switched on, and your GPS if you've got that functionality. The links are at the bottom in the description. All right, if you want to download these apps. Now these are only for Android phones. I'm going to show you the Skymap. This is the Skymap. This costs you nothing. Alright, you just get good ratings. And the good thing is, as you move the mobile phone, okay, it will take you through a variety of objects in the night sky. Now when you first upload this app, the first thing it will say is, will you update your current position? Okay, and it's very easy to do. Now this is very accurate and it's very fast app. Okay, and I think it's ideal. So even a slight movement there, or I'm moving my hand around, it's jerking the map as it is. So it's very fast, and it's not a slow app. Okay, you don't want a slow app to take you through the night sky, pointing your telescope in the field of view, so you're trying to match the star map and all that. You want a very fast, very effective and very simple app. That's all you need. And the good thing about this app is, as we rotate through the night sky, it gives you a variety of objects that can be seen. So you want something that's quite fast and very effective. Okay, so the good thing about this app, it surely clears the deep sky objects as well. Alright, all the messier objects. Now certain apps will reveal even more objects, but again as you can see there, once highlighted in green, there is a deep sky object. Alright, it does cover new general catalogue, alright, so it does cover some NGC objects, and as you can see it does cover some of the messy objects and some of the planets. Okay, so it's a very good app, very simple, very quick and effective app. Okay, so that's what you want. You don't want anything too much specialized, but again, as I said before, it just depends how accurate you mount this app onto your telescope with these the adapter and the telescope main tube. There are settings you can set it. Alright, you can enable sound, but I'm not going to bother. You don't really need all that stuff. Right, you don't need gimmick stuff. You can set your location, okay, and you can even switch it, which is more important, into red filter mode. And what this mode will do, will save your night vision. Okay, so you can use the telescope, point the telescope in the night sky, and it's not going to affect your night vision. Because you don't want a bright star map in your face when you're trying to image or you're trying to look at deep sky objects. You don't want an app that's going to go straight into your face and ruin your night vision, right? However, the pointing accuracy is not that great. So this is where I show you another app. Here we're going to SkyEye. Now SkyEye is very accurate, and this is actually more designed for the telescope. Okay, so you can use equatorial mounts or altimeter mounted telescopes. Alright, and you can use it with binoculars. Okay, now this, it really is much more accurate. Again, I will be testing it out and show you how accurate it is. Now if you're within 2, maybe 1 degree out, that is completely fine. None of these apps will give you pinpoint accuracy, alright? They will give you a general view of where that object is going to be. So don't rely on these too much. All they are going to do is just to give you a general position of where that object is going to be. Now the good thing about this, there are loads of things. This will cover a variety of objects, and most of all, again, it's a very fast app. Okay. And the good thing about this is if there's a bit of magnetic interference, okay, it lets you know as well, and I do like that. There are many other settings you can use, alright, and most of all you can change different colours from dusk to night vision, okay, and we select that. That's the most important one we use the most. Alright, so it's very easy to use, alright. And again, all the menus are there. So we're going to change the colour theme to day. Okay. It gives you coordinates as well. Now it does actually speak to you as well. Okay, so it even tells you where to go, where to point the telescope towards a certain object. Now I've just figured out how to use the go to function, where you could, if you want to look at a certain star or a deep sky object, you don't know where you're going to be looking for it in the night sky. And the simple way to do it is if you click on the 3 digits at the top here, if you click on that, it will give you an option screen. Now to go on the option screen, you click on search at the bottom, click on the spyglass, and it gives you a variety of stars to view, constellations, solar system objects, Messier objects, and NGC objects. Okay, there's only a few items you can look for, and to do this, all you do is you flick through. Say we're going through Messier objects, for example. We flick through that, and I want to look for Andromeda Galaxy. So I click on Andromeda Galaxy, and what that's going to do is will tell me where to move the smartphone or the telescope so I can point it towards Andromeda Galaxy. And again, you may wish to use your voice recognition instructions. Alright, and all you do is, as you can see on this picture here, alright, it tells you where in the reticle there, it tells you the pointer where to move the smartphone or the telescope towards your target. It really is a fantastic function on SkyEye. It's really easy. All you need to do is click on the three dots, okay, click on the search, and if you want to look at Crab Nebula, and again it changes the reticle and the pointer, and all you do is you push your telescope towards the target, okay, and that's how it works. It will have some accuracy error, so if you're like 5 degrees, maybe 3 degrees out, you need to adjust the mobile phone slightly more in towards the main tube as much as possible. Again, the other thing is, if you're using different eyepieces, they also have a different field of view. Even the choice of telescope. Now, these work very well with like wide field refractors, okay? But any telescopes like a Maxitov or a Schmidt Cassegrain, or even a Newtonian reflector for that matter, they have a narrower field of view. So depending on the eyepiece you use, depending on what telescopes you use, right, these applications might not be effective on certain telescopes or eyepieces. But it really does depend on how you adjust this app, how you adjust it in onto the telescope, what eyepieces you use. Alright, there are many factors, but unfortunately I can't give a perfect answer. But what I would suggest is, if I'm going to use these kind of apps, I'll use the widest eyepiece available or wide field telescope, okay, which is going to give you the best possible field of view. And if you get a field of view within like 2 degrees to 1 degree accuracy, that is pretty good going. Alright, if you get that within those limits, you more or less got to slightly scan that small proportion of that sky. So these apps do work, but they're not that accurate. Again, you can spend a ton of money on apps, and even the most glorified apps you use doesn't mean it's going to be very effective, because believe me, there are some apps that I would like to use. They pretty much drain your battery for starters and really slow down your mobile phone. So certain apps aren't that effective. But again, you don't want an app that's going to show you nice pretty pictures of Andromeda Galaxy, for example, with nice music and all that. They're a great way, but they're just glorified. And to be honest with you, these simple ones are much more effective, cheaper, faster. Now the good thing about these apps is they are fantastic with binoculars. Attaching these apps onto your binocular mount, you can find objects in seconds because they offer a great field of view. Alright, and they use low power eyepieces on the binoculars itself. You can find a ton of stuff using these apps. So now what we're going to test out this SkyEye app using my Skywatcher ST80, okay, and we're just going to use a telescope, has a push-to, and we're going to use this app to find us objects in the night sky. Now I'm going to show you different adapters. Now you need a bracket like this one, okay, so you can attach your smartphone. Now it really depends on how big your phone is, what type of phone you use. Alright, to use it, clamp it on so you can connect it to your telescope on your main tube. However, this is a really basic cheap one, okay, that you usually find, and this will fit quite a few smartphone applications. I prefer to use small smartphones because smartphones are a lot smaller, they're a lot more compact. Now I won't use a tablet to fit it onto a telescope setup because tablets tend to be a lot more bulkier and heavier. So you just need a smartphone, simple smartphone adapter that will fit for an iPhone or an Android phone, depending what phone you have.
okay, and the secret is it's got to be something that will fit onto your existing phone, and it usually has a 1/4 screw like there. So the screw nut there, and all it does, it attaches onto a telescope. This is a very simple but very effective, very cheap, cost probably about £2. This was actually from a little tripod thing which was mounted on there, and it costs peanuts. However, it's not that strong, okay, and it can break, so it's not ideal. Now, if you've not seen the video, I suggest you check out the link at the top. Now, this is a smartphone adapter, and this is usually connected. This is usually used for attaching your smartphone so you can use the camera onto the eyepiece of your telescope and take pictures. I do like about this smartphone adapter is it does have the brass thread on there. So what it does enable you to attach it onto the telescope, okay, main tube, and you can clamp the mobile phone like so, okay, to a same effect, okay. So if you've got this Solomark smartphone adapter, okay, you're laughing because you've got the bracket. It's quite durable. It's not, it's quite rigid, right, and it will support the work. Okay, it will support the mobile phone quite effectively, and it has the screw lock, so you can lock it into place like so. So if you have got that, you've got the adaptation using the Solomark. Okay, very effective, fantastic little product. So that's another way to attach your mobile phone onto your telescope. Again, binoculars are a great way to find yourself through the night sky. Now, I mentioned this in my last video. Please check out that video, okay, how to buy a good telescope for Christmas and avoid trash telescopes, okay. And I do mention about binoculars. Now, binoculars are very cheap to buy, and they are very effective, and they can show you a lot of objects in the night sky. Cheap, durable, very effective. If you're on a low budget, these would be the best telescopes you can buy. Okay, binoculars is practically 2 telescopes in one. They're a lot more comfortable to the eye, and you can see a lot of things with just a pair of 10x50s. Okay, now the good thing about these is if you get yourself this book. Now, this book is fantastic, right? Please, again, if you've got a set of binoculars, please check out this book. All right, it really is a fantastic book. Again, I bought this from ASTROBOOT. All right, you can pay for. You can go to a lot of online bookstores. Okay, you can purchase this. All right, I managed to get this at a fantastic price from ASTROBOOT. Alright, this cost me £2.50. £2.50 from ASTROBOOT. Now, I don't know if they've got these in stock. Alright, dead cheap. Alright, it is worth that £2.50. Again, the book costs around about £10 at the most, but it's fantastic. It gives you a variety of things you can see in the night sky with a few maps. Okay, sky maps on there, where to find all the major stars, and then it starts to show you where all the deep sky objects you can use the binoculars with. It's fantastic. Alright, it's a fantastic read, colourful pictures and all that, and it gives you at the back a lot more information, alright, in there. Right, it's a fantastic book for the money. Alright, and I highly recommend anyone who just bought a pair of binoculars at Christmas or the New Year, alright, if you've got a set of binoculars, this will be the book I will highly recommend you to read. Alright, it's fantastic. However, the one disadvantage with books is if you don't have a red torch, you're not going to see the maps very clearly. Alright, so if you don't have a red torch, then it's going to prove a little bit difficult. Now, I'm not going to claim to fame on this. This has already been reviewed. Now, if you've not seen this This is from a kit called Revelation Astro, and it's a universal cell phone adapter. Now this cell phone adapter, you can connect it to your eyepieces and all that sort of thing. However, this has been covered from another video, and it's the astronomy and nature. Again, please check out the link below for that video. Now, one of the guys has already done the review on this many years ago, and it's quite an old video, but however, it does cover a lot of information. It's a very good video, and the order number is the BC190. Okay, so it's the smartphone holder. Alright, but the good thing about this adapter, and the one thing reason why I purchased this, is it's got really good clamping screws here, so you can adapt it for a lot of phones, okay, from different sizes, you name it, and it is a very good clamping device, okay, on this smartphone. Alright, the good thing about this is it does have 3 brass fittings, okay, and I'll explain that further on later in the video. Alright, why this is so handy. And now again, I bought this from ASTROBOOT. Again, ASTROBOOT is a company that sells second-hand parts for telescopes, equipment, any components. Please visit that online shop. Alright, they sell a variety of second-hand equipment at very cheap prices. I bought this smartphone adapter for £10. The other thing is, it's also mentioned in the last video of the astronomy and nature. Alright, they have already covered this. This is a simple bracket, okay. Now this bracket can be fitted onto this device, alright, like so. And have you not noticed that they're all already supplied screws with this kit? Okay, you get 2 of these screws, alright, from here with this kit. So if you ordered this and you order this bracket, now this bracket is a simple Bresser tripod adapter, and it's metal. Again, the video for the astronomy and nature already have covered this bracket. However, I will provide links for this smartphone adapter and this bracket. Now what this bracket is designed so you can connect it to your binoculars, and this is where I can use my existing 10 by 50 binoculars. Okay, I could use them to attach it, that metal bracket on there, and it's very simple to do. Alright, in here there's a cap. I've released the cap, relieves a 1/4 inch thread. In there I can attach this bracket on there like so, and you just screw in the bracket. Okay, there's your bracket. Okay, it's very sturdy. Alright, you may have to tighten it up just a tad more, okay, but there goes your bracket. And the device is quite simple. Depending on how you attach it, alright, you just put the provided knob like so, and then you're going to attach it to any of them brass fittings like so. Alright, and you're just going to attach it on there like so. That is now your bracket installed. You can then attach your phone using the Start app, okay, like so, and then you just slide in, yeah, and lock it in place. There you have it. You've got your app, your mobile phone attached to your binoculars, okay, and that's one way to do it. So now I'm going to show you one example to attach the smartphone adapter onto your telescope main tube. Now here we have is the Skywatcher ST80. It's a simple refractor. I've highlighted this in my video. Alright, please check out the video at the top. I have done sort of a product review. Now, what I'm going to show you is this. Now, the good thing about this telescope, it has a very unique advantage, and the advantage is this. If you've not seen this before, is this part here. This is actually where you can attach a DSLR camera. They have this adapter. Now, this adapter can be used for fitting your mobile phone. So again, it's so simple to attach. I'm just using a basic one here. Alright, very simple basic one. And you just want to position it like so, and then lock it in place. So you lock the washer on there like so, and you want it nice and straight. That's already gives you the ability already to attach your smartphone like so. Unfortunately, this is not ideal because this is a cheap one. It may fall off and it may break. So you can use a basic one without a doubt, but it's not ideal. This is where you can use the Solomark one. Screw it in place. Then lock the lock washer at the bottom, and there you go. Again, you can then attach your mobile phone that way. Now, the one disadvantage of this, however, you've got to take off your covers, because the clamping device is okay, but you've got to remove your covers for you to fit this on there effectively. So that's the only disadvantage of using the Solomark adapter, okay? However, it doesn't mean to say you don't want to stop using it. By all means, if you've got the Solomark, give it a try. Now, this is much more durable, it's a lot more sturdier, it's a little bit heavier, okay? It weighs probably around about 80 grams, if that. Again, depending on where your pointing accuracy, it gives you the ability to move the adapter plate to different positions. And again, all's very simple. Just screw it in there like so, like so. Okay, just reposition it, lock down the lock screw, and there you go. There's your plate in place. With this device, it's a lot more sturdier. You just slide it in place like so, use the clamping screws, and it's sturdier, it's robust, and there you go. If you look here, there is a Vixen dovetail for a finder scope. Now, for all your Dobsonian owners who own a Dobsonian telescope, now for you guys and girls, there is another method you can attach your smartphone. Now again, you can have this smartphone in a way attached on there. Now if you check out the two images below, alright, you can buy a male end dovetail, and you can, in theory, you can actually attach the smartphone and the adapter onto the finder scope bracket. Unfortunately, I don't have that male dovetail. However, at the bottom there is links to the actual dovetail where you can order online. And again, all you need is that male dovetail. However, you may need to adjust it so you can get it as accurate as you can. And the other thing is, if the bracket doesn't have a 1/4 of an inch thread, you may need to install a bolt in there so that you can attach the adapter on there. So that is another method that I would like to show you. So particularly for the Dobsonian owners, alright, give it a try. So you can attach it to your existing finder scope bracket. Because again, a lot of Dobsonians don't have scope rings. Alright, so please check out those links and order the male dovetail today. So Hi everyone, it's now clear sky, and what we're going to do is going to test out the ST80 with our SkyEye app, and we're going to use this telescope, point it to a bright object. Ideally what I go for bright stars first. So for this app to work, usually you have to readjust the position of your phone, get the camera lens as close as possible. Once you're close enough, you then begin to use your low power eyepiece. Okay, so I use a 25mm eyepiece. Alright, it's a good eyepiece to have for this telescope. So use the smallest magnification and the wide field eyepiece. So I'm using a 25mm Plossl, alright, which is fantastic with this scope. And the idea is you want to position to a bright star, then you just want to rejig the phone so you can get the camera lens as accurate as you can. You're not going to get it perfect, but the idea is if you can get it within 1 degree field of view, alright, you're laughing. So what I'm going to do is we're going to pick out up there, we're going to aim for Pleiades, right? An open wide field star cluster, very easy target to pinpoint. And I'm just going to basically get this this phone aligned with the main tube, alright, and once I got it in the field of view of my eyepiece, that is it. That is now my app and my telescope aligned. Just bear in mind, you're not going to get this 100%, alright, but at least you have a good telescope and you've got a reasonably good app that make you find a lot of objects in the night sky. And all this is going to do is encourage beginners to start finding the ways around the night sky. So finding the objects, using the app to help them, but also what this app does, it also teaches beginners to find where the star formations are and the constellations. So it's very, very easy to use, and I think it really encourages beginners. So what we're going to do is we're going to point the telescope like so. I'm going to point at Pleiades, okay, I'm going to check it out, point the telescope, alright, and it's so easy. All I do is I don't even need to look at it because I've got this aligned, alright, and I'm just going to move the telescope like so, heading towards Pleiades. Okay, so it's literally point the telescope, lock it in place once I've got it, alright, and I can just view it. So I'm going to change a different angle so you can see what I'm doing. So now we've got Pleiades in view, we're just going to use the slow motion controls to line it up. Okay, I can just see now, if we take a closer look, alright, we get to view Pleiades there now. So Pleiades is in my app, okay, and we can get to show you through the eyepiece. And where you can see that cluster there, alright, it does move out of position, so you have to move the telescope, get into view. Okay, so we're in view, alright, like so. Alright, as you can see, the good thing about this app, it's in night vision, so I can reserve my night vision. Alright, and we can then begin to look through the eyepiece. So, now you can see, we've got Pleiades in the eyepiece, alright, and it just shows you how accurate that app is. Now, really good view there. I'm quite happy with the results there. This is through just my mobile phone, right? I'm using another mobile phone, and look at it. What a fantastic image. And again, I could take a picture of that, not a problem. So as you can see, we're moving to Orion. We're just using the slow motion controls. Okay, we're going to point it to the Great Orion Nebula. As you see, we're locked on just there. Alright, straight on the Orion Nebula, and if we just dim it down so you can see, okay, we're slightly off, so we just move the there we go. Okay, we now got the reticle in view, and we can now begin to look at the Great Orion Nebula. So now, as you can see, I've located the Orion Nebula. Unfortunately, it's quite low in the sky, but you can just get to see the trapezium star formations. Alright, so it is there, but all I'm demonstrating is that you can find deep sky objects through this app. And here's Orion in this image. Alright, it's very faint, but the camera's not sensitive enough to see the cloud formations, alright, the gas formations. But the whole idea is that if I up the exposure, I can take a picture of that, alright, using a still shot, and I should get a good result from there. So I've tried another day, and what I'm going to try to do is show you the actual accuracy on the app. Now if we take a look up there, we've got the moon up there, okay. We've got the app pointing at the moon. Now we're going to take a look through the eyepiece as best as I can to show you where the moon's going to be. So as you can see, we're just on the moon now. We're just bang on centre, right through the eyepiece. So it does work. However, looking at the app itself, oh, the wind is atrocious today. But we're there. But looking at the app, we are slightly, yeah, 2 degrees out. So that's the accuracy you get. Alright, it's not perfect, but there are ways you can compensate it. The wind is terrible this morning, so it's just blowing the mountain and all that. So, as you can see, looking on how it's performed, I'm actually quite impressed on the results, and to be honest with you, I think it's a great idea. However, please know there are many factors that can affect the accuracy. This is not a foolproof method. Right, there are times where it depends on the telescope you use, the eyepieces you use, it even depends on the mobile phone and the app you use. Even the fixings, if the fixings are very loose, you're not going to get accurate results. So please make sure that your smartphone adapter is securely fixed and your mobile phone is. If you're within 1, maybe 2 degrees out, then you've got to compensate of pushing the telescope slightly a bit more, so hopefully it gets into the field of view through your eyepiece. So it is a mixed sort of method, but it can work for you, and it works extremely well with binoculars. And you can get some success out of it. So it does work, and it does help beginners navigate the night sky. The other thing I need to highlight is that ideally you want to get in a zoomed as well. Alright, if you have it the map all the way to the minimum setting, you're not going to get
really good pointing accuracy. So it's ideally that you zoom in on the map a little bit more so that you can start to see deep sky objects, the positions of the stars and all that a little bit better. So as you move into position, you can hopefully get that object within your eyepiece. The other thing is, when you're using it, just push the telescope nice and easily, nice and slowly, okay, and hopefully, you know, you'll get the target as well. I think it's a great introduction for beginners who have just got the new telescope and they've got a standard mount, okay. You can have a lot of fun with this method, alright, and you'll get to see a lot of objects through the night sky. As long as your setup is nicely aligned, you do have to play about with certain parts. Now this adapter, have you noticed it's slightly pushed to my, it's actually pushed onto my right, alright, your left, alright, and as you can see there, here it was slightly out, so I had to push it out further out more to one side. So, would I recommend it? Yes and no. Yes, I think it's a great introduction, but no, that if you're trying to find much fainter objects in the night sky, then this method is not quite as accurate. Now for the brighter, messier objects, or some new catalogue, general catalogue objects, you may be able to find a few of the bigger targets. However, for the smaller targets, this is not 100% accurate, and again, to find Andromeda Galaxy, for example, or Pleiades, or M42, you can find those not a problem. However, with the really small deep sky objects, then you might not be able to find them very well. But it doesn't mean to stop there and give up. The whole idea is, a lot of astronomers like the thrill of the hunt. So a lot of Dobson owners will want to try this method themselves. So if you've got a Dobsonian telescope, okay, the Dobson owners out there, this is great for those guys, okay, because you can mount this onto your telescope and you can push the mount left and right, up and down, and it's a great way for the Dob users. So if you've got a Dobsonian telescope, give it a try. Again, a lot of these objects are quite faint, so certain objects might not even appear on this telescope, for example. So again, it depends on a lot of things, like how transparent the skies are, or how dark the skies are. Is the moon up? That's another key issue. Again, if the moon is up in the night sky, alright, it can blot out a lot of deep sky objects and stars. So again, there are several factors why if you point the telescope and you see a deep sky object and you're not being able to see it in the telescope, again, it also depends on the area you live. So if you're living in a light polluted town, for example, that can also affect your views. So you're not going to guarantee that you're going to see the actual object in the eyepiece. So it's a bit of a hit and miss with this method. But for Dobsonian users, I think it's a fantastic method. And also for binocular users, again, using the binoculars more, increasing the functionality, I think it's a great way for beginners, particularly on a low budget. Give this method a try. I mean, seriously, is it worth it? Give it a try. Because at the end of the day, this is going to help people get encouraged into astronomy, and it is a great way and a great method of finding objects for you. One tip-top advice I would suggest is, when you do set up this smartphone, again, make sure it's nice and secure. Use the lowest eyepiece, and what I suggest to improve the pointing accuracy is to line the telescope. Get a target on a bright target, i.e. you can use the moon or a planet, or even a star. As long as you get in the eyepiece, as long as you've got some known location, okay, get the telescope and the smartphone lined up together. Once it's lined up in there, then you should be good to go, and you can probably find 80% of the targets in the night sky, right, with some success. Give it a try, and again, please share your experiences. Remember, please hit the like button if you like watching this video, and again, please share your comments. Alright, see how you get on with this method. I like to see your experiences with this setup. Please look forward for new videos coming out soon in 2019. So again, please subscribe onto my channel, hit the notifications, which will keep you updated to the new videos coming out, so you don't miss out. Please share these videos out. Again, push these videos out. It's going to help a lot of beginners to avoid frustration in astronomy. I wish you all a happy new year. Thanks again. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all clear skies.